Hi teachers! Your Tuesday Tech tip this week is all about Google Classroom. So this is going to be just a quick overview of how to set up a class, how to get students added, and kind of the basics on what Google Classroom can do. So right now you're looking at my Google Classroom teacher dashboard. It's going to show every class that I'm teaching and also the ones that I'm enrolled in as a student. One thing I want to point out is over here on the left-hand side, when you go to the three lines, it gives you your classes dashboard. It gives you your calendar that would sync with your Google Calendar. It gives you all the classes you're teaching and then also the ones you're enrolled in. And then you have the option to go into your archived classes, which are the old classes that you have taught previously, but you've archived now, and then your settings if you need to ever adjust anything about the classes you have. So that's what lives over there under the three lines. You'll notice beside each class, there's three dots. If you go to those, it gives you several options. First, you can move and rearrange those classes to appear a certain way on your dashboard. You can edit the class if you need to change the title or anything about how you set it up. You can copy the class, which is really helpful if you teach multiple classes, or if at the end of a year you want to copy your class before you archive it. When you copy a class, all of your links will go with it, but the students do not. So it's an easy way to kind of keep you from having to start all over. And then archive. This would be when you're finished teaching a class, you want to archive it to get it off your dashboard. So those are the main things on the dashboard. If you come over here, the plus is actually how we're going to get started. So if you don't have a classroom yet, you're going to click on the plus and you're going to go down to create a class. This is the same way your students will do this when they want to join your class. They'll go to the plus sign and they'll do join class, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you want to create a class, and so I'm going to create just a sample class. You can give it all these other details, so the section, the subject, the room number, and then it's really simple. You just click create, and it's going to take just a second to create that class. And then we'll go inside and I'll show you some of the different things you can do once you are in the class. So when you create your classes, they will pop up on your dashboard automatically. You can see now when I go back over here to the three lines, my sample class that I just made is in there along with all the other ones that I already had. One of the first things I want to show you is how you can change the theme. So you can go into select theme and it will pull up an existing gallery of pictures and patterns and colors. So you can change the background. You can also upload a photo to be your background. And then this little button right here, About, brings up just some of the information you put in when you created it, along with the class code. Now, the class code is really important. It lives three different places, and the purpose of the class code is to allow students to join. So let's come up here to People. And under the People tab, you have at the top a spot for teachers. So if I wanted to add a teacher collaborator, I could do that by just clicking on the add person and typing in that person's email address. And I can choose whoever I want to be another teacher in my classroom with me. So this is great if you have co-teachers or if there's someone that helps teach your students at different times during the day. You can both be teachers in the classroom. And then at the bottom is where I would add students. Now, going to the add person would require me to type in every student's email address. That takes way too much time. So instead, I'm going to have the students join with a code. Now, they do that, like I said, the same way that you did. Back on the dashboard, they're going to click on the plus sign. The same way you clicked on the plus sign to make a class, they're going to click on the plus sign to join a class. And when you click on join class, it gives them a box where they're supposed to enter a code. And your code is found three places. It's found under About, and I can go right beside it and tell it to display that. And so the students would type that code in and click join, and it would automatically add them to this classroom. That same code is up here under the settings gear. And again, I can go to the code, click on it, and tell it to display, and it's going to make that nice and big for them to see. And that same code lives where we just were in the Peoples tab. So I can put that on the board or show it to them and have them type that code in to join. Once they do that, you'll start to see all of your students under this students page of the People screen. So let's go to the next tab over, which is classwork. This is where the majority of the things you're going to share will be, because under classwork, you can create assignments, you can create questions, you can just share materials, which is where I share like links I want them to go to. You can reuse posts that maybe you've used in different classrooms, and you can create new topics. So I'm going to create an assignment. And first I have to tell who is it going to. Well, this is going to this particular classroom, and I have the option to send it to all students, or when your students are loaded, you can actually go through and click the select ones that you want to get it. You would give it a title. And a tip that I have found very helpful is I number all of my assignments. It really helps the students when they're looking for something to say, we're on assignment number 5 today. And so to number them is just a tip I've found to be helpful. You can add instructions. You can tell it how many points it's going to be worth, or you can select ungraded. You can give it a due date, or again, you can say no due date, or you can choose from the calendar. You can even choose the time when it's due. And then topic. This is really an important thing in my opinion, because I like to keep all of my assignments organized either by what unit they're in or just what they are. So I'm just going to call this topic assignments. And that is going to give me basically a folder to keep all of my assignments in. If you have class materials, you can call it class materials. Then all those links will go just into class materials. Down at the bottom, you have the option to attach it, pull it in from your Google Drive, add a YouTube video, or add a link. So I'm just going to quickly add an assignment from my drive. So this is pulling up my drive, and this is a punctuation quiz. This is what I want the students to get. So I'm going to click on it and click add. And now this is another really important step. I got to tell it what the students can do. So they can either view the file, which just simply means they look at it. They can edit the file, which I don't do very often because this actually has them edit on my copy. This would only be good if you're doing like a collaborative assignment where you want them all working together on your original version. Most of the time what I do is make a copy for each student. That will take your document and give them each their own copy that they can work on. And it's also really nice, it puts their name in the subject of that document. And then I'm ready to come down here and assign. Now, even when I assign, I have some options. I can assign it right now. I can schedule it to assign at a later date and time, which is really helpful. Or I can just save it as a draft. If I'm not finished with it and I want to assign it later, I can do that as well. So I'm just going to click to go ahead and assign this right now. And then I'm going to see that that pops up under classwork. And you can see if you go back to the third option up here, stream, anything you put on classwork is also going to pop up on your stream. Now, classwork has a lot more options. You can create assignments. You can give a question that they all answer. You can share material. Like I said, you can reuse posts. Under stream, all you can really do is just make an announcement. So I could say, I could share, for instance, a link to Kahoot, and I would go to the link button and add that link. So I could make an announcement, or I could share a link here. Or I could also reuse a post. Those are really my only options with Stream, is just to make an announcement or reuse a post. So like I said, classwork is really where you're probably going to do most of your work. Stream kind of shows the students what the most recent thing is that has been shared with them. Um, there's a lot more to Classroom. And so this was just kind of a quick overview. We'll go into how to invite guardians, how to look at the files in your Google Drive. We'll go into all of that in a different video. But here's just a quick overview of Classroom. I use Classroom all the time. It is a great way to help keep me and my students organized. And I hope that this little video has helped you to get started as well. Have a great day.